जय जय साईं मां,
जय 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 साईं मां,
जय 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 साईं मां,
जय जय साईं मां,
जय 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 साईं मां,
जय जय साईं मां,
बोलो जय 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 साईं मां,
बोलो जय 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 साईं मां,
जय 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 साईं मां,
जय 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 साईं मां,
जय 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 साईं मां.
Sairam everyone. Welcome to the study circle hour. Today's study blessed to have Abhisek here. Abhisek, we had greatest opportunity last week. Abhisek and Anant gave the performance. So if you were here, you would have probably known how blissful that moment was. Um, and Abhishek has gracefully agreed that he give a talk because last week was a musical performance and they were tried Anant and Abhishek tried to talk about the darshan and the series of all the small and the story revolved around Swami's darshan. And in today's session, we requested Abhishek that Abhishek, can you please share your personal experiences that you had spending his school, college, and also with the close proximity of Swami. So thank you so much, Abhishek. Abhishek has come here for work this week to the US. Abhishek had a hectic week this really hectic, and in the middle of those hectic work, and Abhishek has gracefully accepted. In fact, Abhishek is flying back tonight, so so it's a greatest opportunity to give a small intro about Abhishek. Abhishek, I mean, Desai higher secondary school in Puttaparthi, and also from 2009 he did his undergrad, postgrad in Parthi. Then from 2009, Swami blessed him with an opportunity to be in the Prashanti Mandir Bhajan. So from 2009, he's part of group. You might have seen him, might have seen him in many videos. So it's greatest opportunity that Abhishek is with us in person today. So please enjoy this session. Abhishek, you want to start?
Sairam, offering myself at Bhagawan's lotus feet. Respect, dear brothers and sisters. Loving Sairams to each one of you. Uh, Huge shout out to you all for taking the time out on a Sunday, on a weekend to uh, sit in a discussion that just evokes Bhagawan's memories in whichever form. Uh, the topic started out as uh, how to be Swami's singer, and in a sense, before it even began, it immediately changed to a point where I said, no, I should talk about how to sing for Bhagwan. And there is a stark difference between the two topics, and I thought I would make an attempt to uncover this difference along with you all today, and hopefully provide some insights. As myself, I'm going through this journey from how to be Swami singer to how to sing for Swami. They are actually two different things. Um, so I'd like to start by kind of elucidating my journey of uh, how I started singing for Swami, and it was a long drawn journey because I came as a um, young adult, literally a young adult. I was into my teens. I joined Bhagwan's school for my 11th grade in 2007, and fresh out of a uh, semi formal classical training, I joined Swami school. And then, just by seeing all of the people out there getting a lot of opportunities via the bhajan group, I too wanted to be part of the bhajan group, not particularly because I the bhajans, but because these bhajan singers were getting a chance to in front of get opportunities to speak to him, get an opportunity to be close to him. So with that as the primary focus, I thought I should attempt to join the bhajan group. And then I went and asked this teacher of mine who used to be the in charge, "Sir, can I join the bhajan group?" So he had not heard me before. I'm from a sort of semi classical Carnatic training background. And he just looked at me and said, "Oh, it's going to probably take you a very long time. You continue to practice. It can take you a few years." And um, like if so I had come from a family which uh, showed me that Bhagwan was God, and uh, we knew that Bhagwan was all that we worshipped, and not necessarily that we came from a background that did not know Swami, but it was like Swami was a God who is in the altar. Never knew him as a personal God of mine, and never experienced him as a personal God of mine. But in that attempt to uncover him as a God so personal and so beautiful and so divine, um, this was my, I thought this was my thing. I wanted to sing for Swami and probably get his attention. But in the first few days after my joining the school, I felt quite at that time. My parents were away, and it was all my hostel mates and teachers, and I was missing home a lot, and that is quite natural. But given that I was feeling homesick, I thought to be here for many years. So probably it's best to give up on this dream to sing for Bhagwan, or at least in the form that I am thinking. I'd probably um, try something else. That was my initial thought. And but still, I kind of prided myself my classical training, that I thought, okay, even if I don't get to sing in Bhagwan's physical presence, at least I should be able to sing in the hostel or the college. At least I'm that good. I had that kind of a thought about myself. And so again, there was in the hostel for some of us. So one week I sang one small Ganesh bhajan, and and then every week you would get this opportunity on a Thursday to sing in the prayer hall. So I noticed some of my classmates were getting multiple chances to sing. It was a few bhajans only. And then I would ask my student coordinator from my class, "Hey, can I get to sing this week? Can I get to sing this week?" He would always say, "No, no, probably next week, probably next week." So one day I prayed to him and asked, um, "Hey, I noticed that other people are getting. Why don't you give me an opportunity uh, this week?" He looked at me straight in my eye and he said, "Brother, you are not singing well. Uh, the others are singing better than you. So therefore, we are giving them a chance." And that kind of like broke my heart because I didn't have the maturity to take that. I was like, I didn't have the maturity to take that kind of a feedback and say, hey, I need to work on myself to be able to sing in the prayer hall. But what that is a sort of like, how can he tell me that I'm not good enough? So, although that was the thought came by Bhagawan's divine grace, because into so many other negative reactions. But what that fueled is, I will show him that I will sing for Bhagawan and show him that I'm good enough. Um and that kind of fueled into uh, me practicing classical songs. I said, okay, even if I'm not good enough for singing bhajans in front of Swami, I will sing my classic of Swami. I can sing, no? Bhagavan will accept it anyway. Every week, I used to sit alone in the campus and try and practice more songs, try and practice songs that have a very good meaning. Some of the Tyagaraja songs, some of the Dikshidhar songs, which are very deep in their meaning and deep in the yearning for their own version of. I used to practice those songs. I used to learn more songs, and that went on for a year and a half. And through that journey, my homesickness had vanished. My focus was more on how can I stay more with Bhagwan and for him. It reached to a point, probably August 2008. I was into my 12th grade, and I didn't put any particular effort into singing bhajans, but just by virtue of being there in the mandir when the bhajans were going on, when Vedam was going on, probably I would have picked up something. So on one particular day in that August 2008, I had to give a talk in the prayer hall, and before the talk began, I sang a few lines of one bhajan. Uh, I wanted to I wanted to show Bhagwan as the avatar of multiple ages, so I just sang um, Treta me Sita Ram bane पर में राधे हम में कलयुग में साई नाम लिए साई नाम लिए सर्वन लिए. Just this much I sang and I began my talk. What happened after that was the teacher who had told me back then that, hey, it can take you a few years to join the bhajan group. He himself came and told me that, hey, your voice has improved a lot over from when if you continue to practice some more, you can probably, join the bhajan group when you go to Brindavan campus. That that kind of triggered me into, okay, why should I wait until I go to Brindavan campus? Because when I go to Brindavan campus, I would come to Prashant Nilayam only very sparsely, very rarely. So me put extra efforts, and I sing in now here. So I continued my practice. I kept my regular teacher, and I would go to him almost every other day um, on how to deliver my what kind of uh, what kind of techniques I should use for singing, and uh, would learn insights from him. Uh, Beyond a point, um, I start I started practicing quite a lot. One particular day, after all my practice had happened, that was a Chaturthi day. In Prashanti Nilayam, what happened during Ganesh Chaturthi, multiple sets will make chariots for Ganesha for their own. Every class will make, and then the for immersion. So that while the Ganesha chariot procession was being there, I was selected as part of the Vedam group in that procession. Everybody is in such a high. Everybody is wanting with their the bhajans, the Vedam. So we went all in, and I was like screaming Vedam at the top of my just to get attention of Bhagawan. That's all. There's no other agenda to screaming Vedam, right? So, at the top of my voice, I was screaming, and then I came and I noticed that my voice was a little funny. I was not able to really either speak properly, sing properly. And then the next day was a Thursday, and I tried to go and sing in the prayer hall, and it was a major mishap. I My voice wouldn't come out. It was, and I realized my voice is gone now. And to figure out that this was what had happened, that I had screamed a lot, and therefore my voice is gone. I said, okay, it get better in a few days' time, and I gave it. It's not healing. It was 3 days over, a week over, 2 weeks over. It was still not healing. I went and tried going to the general hospital to a doctor, but it was simply not healing, just not healing. And then I a course of silent therapy, not speaking to anybody except for my teachers who would ask me questions, not speaking to anybody around in the hostel. But that too didn't work. It was just not getting all right. And then it got to a point where it was not this intense in my desire to sing for Bhagwan for a year and a half, and nothing happened to my voice back then. And now, when my desire is so intense, my voice is gone, and I was feeling really, really bad about it. I wanted an answer from Swami. Swami, what should I do to get my voice back in track? So I met this one teacher. There's a bit of digression. It's still beautiful because the same message holds throughout this talk. I met this teacher and I expressed sir, my voice is just not getting all right. What should I do such that Swami will be pleased with me and cure my voice? He said, just keep praying all the time. It's get an opportunity, you pray. You pray throughout every waking moment, probably in your sleep also, just keep praying. I said, sir, how will this work? Then he said, I gave the same advice to another boy, and it actually worked. He told me a story, and quick gist of the story. He said one of the boys had heard in one of the Parayanams that one of the teachers got an opportunity to massage Swami's feet when Swami was resting. Kasturi Garu was on one side and that teacher was on the other side. And when that experience was being narrated, this boy got an intense desire that he also wanted to do Pad Seva to Swami. So this teacher gave him this advice that you pray day and night, every waking moment, probably even sleeping conscious moment. You pray that you want this opportunity, it will be granted to you. There is no other way. And this boy did exactly that. And on a particular day, there was this gratitude program that was going on, where all the students are allowed to show their gratitude to Bhagawan by offering a few songs, some speeches in between. Sitting in the front row, and Swami, after the program, very subtly signaled all of them to come forward. Not many people caught that signal. This boy was one of the few who caught that signal, and he sat right in front of Swami. And Swami is talking to all for a good 10-15 minutes. And as he's sitting right at Swami's feet, he gets this opportunity to do Padaseva. So this sir narrates this incident to me, saying that what happened several years ago as Padaseva to Bhagawan, one boy getting a desire for that, praying and getting the opportunity, why can it not happen to you? It can happen to you too. So he said, go pray day and night, yearn for that to an extent where Bhagavan has to respond and there is no other choice. So I started doing just that. It was a good, at least for about 7 weeks, 7 to 8 weeks, this was going on. From my waking till my, just keep praying, Swami, please cure my voice. Swami, I want to sing in front of you. Swami, please cure my voice. I want to sing in front of you. And it created a lot of anguish. It created a lot of yearning. It, I think that was the most intense I've ever prayed something to Bhagavan. And it was a beautiful, beautiful thing. And for no reason whatsoever, one like as if a switch had been, voice just came back. There was no reason, there was no season, and then my practice just intensified after that. And that yearning, I think that that yearning of about 7 to 8 weeks is what uh, I don't think I was musically qualified to sing in front of Bhagavan back then. I don't think I am qualified even now. But what I think Bhagavan saw was that intense yearning. The theme that I kind of want to carry forth through, and like just to end that story in a on a probably high note, I continued practice for a few more months. I kept regular cadence with this sir, and then one fine day, he said, "Now you can go and ask Swami that you want to sing in front of him." And then on 15th of January 2009, I asked Bhagawan, "Swami, can I sing in front of you? Can I sing? Can I join the bhajan group?" He nodded his head and approved. And that yearning is what kept me going for all my years through the Sathya Sai system. It was not any musical caliber whatsoever. It was not anything else that kept me going, but the yearning to sing in front of Swami. And that kind of continued to play out in multiple avenues as I tried to, connect with Bhagavan either externally or internally. The yearning to sing in front of Swami. That was the theme of, I think, my entire stay. Now, a few more stories that came across my way, which showed me the power of yearning. I thought I will narrate in the same theme. One he had been part of Brindavan, and whenever Swami used to go to Brindavan, he used to get a chance to sing in front of Swami. And he was there for a long time, and as his took shape, Swami guided him to take up a role in the US, and he did that. But he would come very often, right? Once in a year and would get this to Swami. But he noticed that because from this group and newer joined this group, he would not get the same kind of from Bhagavan that he used to get before, and that was quite natural. He found it a bit odd that, okay, I may not get uh, the prime slot for a bhajan, but Swami should respond to me the same. Why should Swami's interaction with me change? So, one particular trip when he came, he said, "Swami, this time, which thing, no? I stand there, listen to my bhajan, and respond to me the way you did before." And he was there. Group. He asked the he knew for a long time, can I get an opportunity? Said, why not? Why not? Please sing. And but because there were newer members who was more regular, he would always be given the prime slots. He said, that's fine, no problem. But for example, if there are 13 singers side, and then there are 13 singers on the list, to wait for 26 bhajans to get over before you get a slot, right? And that seemed a bit, and that is what happened throughout his trip, that he did not even get an opportunity to sing a single in front of Swami. And his last slot is coming, and he was very very disturbed. And then on one particular day there was a function that was happening, and he asked his coordinator, sir, after this I'm probably going back to the US. I may not get an opportunity to sing in front of Swami. Please put me at the very first slot, otherwise I may not. The coordinator also kind of readily agreed. Why not? Please. Um, he thought, okay, if it was this easy, I should have asked him on the first day itself, right? That, but there was a he didn't know that. So there were a lot of bhajans that were going on um, because of the event, but at that time the mic was not on. Mic was not switched on. And then every time the ladies were singing, he would ask this brother, are you ready to sing the next bhajan? This bhajan, this Shruti, okay. A couple of times this happened, and then he was like, why singing? Because I thought when Bhagawan is singing, I would get an opportunity to sing. The the point being, when would Bhagawan come out of Trai Brindavan into Brindavan Ashram, into Sai Ram? So whoever is singing the bhajan at that time, the mic will be turned on whenever Bhagawan is coming. So this meant that if he was singing and only the last line the mic is turned on, or like in between the mic is turned on, he to see Bhagwan as that is exactly what he wanted, right? He wanted to see Swami as he is singing, and he wanted Swami to look at him. And this was the prayer that had been going on for like 3 weeks now. Now he did not know this catch, and he's like, Swami, this is not fair. This is not at all fair. So every bhajan that is going on for the when, so Swami would take approximately maybe 6 minutes to come from Trai Brindavan into Sai Ramesh Hall. He walks very slowly and gently and blesses all the devotees in between, and then comes to the front of the Sai Ramesh Hall. So then he's calculating in his mind, okay, if gents are singing, Swami, you should come. If ladies are singing, Swami, no, you should not come. If they sing a slow bhajan, then I may not get to sing in front of. So he's doing all these calculations in between. Swami, please come. Swami, please don't come. Swami, please come. Swami, please don't come. And he's with so much of this intention um, in his mind. Then he starts one particular bhajan. He sings Hari Om Tat Sat Namah Shivaya. Sorry, this is not the one. It is Hari Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya. This is a very small bhajan. Right? Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om Namah Shivaya. Only 4 lines. Right? So as he starts this bhajan, the mics get turned on. And then he's like, Swami, this is absolutely not fair. For you to be in front of me when just not fulfilled that desire of mine. I'm going to go back all disappointed this time. And I have to wait another year before I come back and sing in front of you. So now, as he is singing, because he has started and the mic is on, he cannot, like, brother, can you please take an. He can't do that. So, with all the anguish, he's continuing to sing because he has to sing. Uh, and he said, I don't even want to see this sight in front of me, where you are not there. I'm just going to close my eyes, imagine you in my mind, and sing for you. He does that, and as he opens his eyes after over, Swami is already standing in front of him. Now, Swami blesses him with a smile, asks him to take Pad Namaskar, and then leaves quite silently. Now part of his mind takes think, how did this happen? Because this bhajan lasted only maybe 3 minutes, and Swami used to take maybe 6 minutes to walk. Then he's asking these people around, what happened? What really happened? The bhajan did not, like, I didn't sing any extra line in the bhajan also. And then all the people around him are saying, for some reason that day, once the tri doors were opened, Swami, instead of, usually he just comes out, he blesses the deers. There used to be a deer park in Vrindavan. Swami used to bless the deer. Swami used to bless a few devotees around and then slowly walk into Ramesh Hall. Do that. He rushed into Sai Ramesh Hall, like as if he was marching. He rushed and then went straight in front of this brother. Now, what a beautiful moment for this brother. And I can because I have experienced this kind of yearning, I can definitely say that it had nothing to do with a person's musical repertoire. It had everything to do with yearning. And that is a beautiful message out of this incident, that when yearning peaks, the Lord inert, the Lord who is not responding to you, the Lord who is alone and waiting for you to call him, rushes to you. There is this other message that also comes, that if the Lord is moving away from you, he is arrested. And in the talk on the previous Saturday, I had mentioned how that brother sang that bhajan Krishna, and how the Lord who was moving away from him just got arrested. So these are satisfied by yearning. Who is inert and not responding to you will come rushing to you. He has no choice. That is his only weakness. And the Lord who is moving away from you is arrested. There's another beautiful story to highlight the importance of how, when you're singing for Swami, every little aspect of it matters. And every you are conscious of every single decision that you make at that. So there was one particular period in the life of Swami, where in Vrindavan, when he used to spend some time, he used to tell the singers that the devotees, some of the devotees, when you sing about, Parvati Pataye, or when you sing about Radhe Shama, of a very worldly relationship between a man and a woman, and this is not conducive for their growth right now. So for now, you stop singing any bhajans that are related to male female. And he had stopped that for a while, and so all of the bhajans that had these kind of pairings were changed for an interim basis, for a small period of time, and some of which continue even today, but some of which had reversed. So any such Radhe Shama or Parvati Pataye, something like that would be changed. So one example was um, the original bhajan was Radha Madhava Madana Gopala. It changed to Sai Madhava Madana Gopala. So some were made on a temporary basis and renewed their that form. So each week, people would people in the group would sit together and decide how to change which bhajan so that uh, does not occur. Now, very meticulously, they would go through each of these bhajans, each lyrics, each line, and they would say, okay, this we should change to this the meter, so we will change it like this. Now, they was supposed to sing, and he was assigned this bhajan, Kalyana Krishna, Kamaniya Krishna, and he practiced this bhajan along with the group members over there. And as he starts the bhajan, the first line, Kalyana Krishna, Kamaniya Krishna, Kaliya Mardana, Sri Krishna. So this is the first line. And as he starts the bhajan, he realizes that the third line contains Govardhana Giridhari Murari Gopi Mana Sanchari. Now, if any such pairing is to be removed, then this also should have been removed. And he realizes that he missed this particular connection. Now he doesn't know what to do. He has already started the bhajan. And one part of his is thinking, oh my God, now everybody is going to face the consequences of this. Right? It's not just me. The entire bhajan group is going to face the consequences of this particular blunder. I don't know what to do. And he's singing right in front of Swami. Swami is sitting in front of him in his throne. Swami is lost in bliss. He is like this, lost in bliss, inert in that way, right? Not responding to you is inert in that way. He's lost. And then this brother is sitting at Swami's feet and he's thinking, okay, what to do now? And then the second line also happens. Now the third line is about, and then there is this other part of his brain that says, Swami, it is okay if I get the punishment, but I really do not want to let you down. This is the one instruction that you gave us, and you failed. Swami, I do not want to let you down. That's the other part of his brain. And then the second line, Kaliya Mardana Sri Krishna. So the follow is going on, and then Swami wakes up out of his trance. He leans down to this boy and whispers, Brindavana Sanchari. Then he goes back into his trance. This boy immediately catches it and he sings, Govardhana Giridhari Murari Brindavana Sanchari. Whole situation is, nobody other than that brother and Swami knows what. And that one thought of Swami, I do not want to let you down, got him to that point where, as he is singing, Bhagawan responds and then goes back into his Ananta Shine. What a beautiful, beautiful that brother would have experienced. So to keep the theme that at every single point of time when we attempt to sing before Bhagwan, the most important thing is our yearning. And this is more for people who want to sing for Swami. And when I say sing for Swami, the mic has nothing to do with singing for Swami. The mic has absolutely nothing to do with singing for Swami. But when you do hold a mic, you hold the responsibility of not coming in the way of anybody else's devotion. So I think one of you asked me, or not you? it was Sri or Maha. Uh, One of them asked me, how much do you practice on a daily basis? I think my answer for a long time now has been that I practice to an extent where my voice does not come in the way of connection, else's connection with Bhagwan. Now, I had been very egoistic for a long time, thinking that, oh, I am doing a great seva by singing so that other people can connect to Swami and all that. And then a few experiences in my life showed me that, hey, boss, you're just a medium, not doing anything great. And then it became very, very clear to me that the people who are coming for the bhajan are already if they just hear the word Sathya Sai or Swami or Bhagwan, they're already in raptures, right? Like um, uh, Swami used to give this example that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says Krishna, he goes into divine ecstasy. Whereas if you say Krishna, you're not going into divine ecstasy. Does it have something to do with the name? No, it has something to do with your yearning. And this is what I saw for a lot of people who come for the bhajan. They are already devoted. So our bhajan has not, you know, creating that connection between the devotee and the Lord. That is already going on. What you do should not be connection. And that much you should practice. And having a classical background does help. It's not a necessity, but it does help. It's as a musical instrument. But what I do notice is that most of the music um, that, at least for me, most of the music that goes around today in the name of art has just become art and has lost the devotional aspect of it. So at least when I come for bhajan, my only aim is to connect to Bhagwan. And that much music is sufficient. Anything more than that is a disturbance for even me and for anybody who comes there with the aim of connecting to Swami. So with the theme of yearning and with the theme of, uh, you know, coming, singing for Swami without any identity around. One beautiful thing comes to mind where Swami said once to a boy, sing, but don't be a singer. Now, that has multiple levels of meaning for me, but one of the most one of the most surface level meanings is you sing irrespective of what your identity is. When you call yourself a singer, you associate a certain identity with yourself, right? Okay, I am a singer, which means I must do this, this, this. This is what I should be singing. And in that whole process of intellectualizing your journey as a singer, you lose your connection with Bhagwan. So sing, but don't be a singer was a very beautiful message, and I'm not there yet. I'm definitely not there yet. And all of what I shared, all of the yearning that I've shared, is not to show that I am already there. Definitely not. This year continuous process. Like any form of improvement is a continuous process. There is no the journey is the most important thing more than the end goal. And with that, I think I will pause. And if there are any questions, I can probably take. My mother is a Carnatic teacher, so for some time in my early life, I learned from her. But after that, I had learned from multiple gurus um, in my childhood. The last one in my childhood being Sri T.V. Ramprasad. But then I had gone out of touch for a very, very long time. But now, at this point in my life, I felt that I need to uh, restart my Carnatic learning, because I noticed that as I'm singing bhajans, the strength in my voice is starting to decline. So just to keep up the strength, I thought that I need form of classical uh, expertise who is guiding me on how to deliver my voice. So again, like the objective is that the lack of strength in my voice come in the way of my connection to Bhagavan. So right now I am learning from the Tichur Brothers Online School of Music.
Please feel free to ask questions, because we will catch Abhishek only next year, probably, Swami's grace. Until then, um, I have a question, Abhishek. Okay. So you spoke about yearning, and let's say a bhajan singer, or who is an aspiring singer who needs to offer bhajan to Swami, has so much yearning, and he got that opportunity to sing. And based on your experience, you have seen physically Swami with close proximity. What does Swami expects from a bhajan singer? Um, and how responsible the bhajan singer should be, because he is the one who is driving all of the rest of all the devotees connecting to Swami. So, what is the responsibility of a bhajan singer? And let's say a bhajan session is about 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or an hour. Um, what does Swami expects a bhajan session should be on a whole? Definitely, Swami may expect a very good quality. Bhakti is very important, all those things. But um, since Swami, I mean, this is happening in Parthi, this is happening in Prashanti Nilayam, but the entire world is listening to it, right? So, um, Swami also wants the Prashanti Mandir boys to be responsible, because they are delivering, they are connecting the entire world with Swami. So, what is that responsibility a bhajan singer should have when that yearning is fulfilled and when he gets the opportunity?
I think in some form that yearning itself will drive you to the right actions, but just some general guidelines that our seniors used to tell us, which that Swami used to tell them, was everyday practice for how much ever time your voice needs. That is something, that is an internal journey that you'll have to uh, look at yourself and see what kind of practice, what kind of exercises will give you the right voice texture and something. So if you go through in our student days, some of our seniors guided us to something called the morning. We used to get up and do the bass notes practice for about 30-45 minutes or so. That used to raise our voice throughout the day. And now, while that worked for me in my student days, now it doesn't work for me. So I do a different form of practice. I still do it every day, but different kind of practice which helps my voice come out in the way I want to. So one thing is, there are some very fundamental exercises which you can do to stabilize your voice. That is a must on an everyday basis. But apart from that, I also would encourage everybody to actually think in terms in a little, think a little ahead in terms of, okay, this is where I am now. 5 years from now, let us say, what do I want? What is the quality that I want to deliver? Like, if so, let's say if you underwent 5 years of classical training, even if you're starting from scratch, it would definitely make a difference to you. All right. Many people get into this thought that, okay, I don't have a classical training, so therefore I can do only this much. I will be only this much. But even now, it's never too late. I'm right now 35, and I'm kind of restarting my journey. This is the same for everybody, even if you're 45, 60. Start at any point from now and say, this is where I want to get for you, Swami. This is how much I can do, I want to do for Swami. And any kind of training. I'm not saying that everybody should undergo a classical training, but a classical training definitely helps. Even if it's not classical, some form of consistent practice that each one can follow according to their voice, that can help them stabilize their voice in front of Bhagwan. And what Bhagwan expects, I think my answer goes back to what I said earlier, that a singer should just sing enough such that they don't come in the way of the devotee's pre-existing devotion to Bhagwan. It is, we are not creating a connection between the devotee and Bhagwan. That illusion must go first. They are already connected. If you disturb them, it is even more of a sin. Right? Somebody is already connected to Bhagwan, you go and break his connection because if your voice is not all right, if you're not practiced, right, then that is even greater of a sin than actually not causing somebody to connect to Swami. So my stance remains the same, that practice an extent where you don't disturb anybody. Even in you sing enough to not disturb anybody. That's it.
Sanam Abhishek, beautiful thoughts. Ravi brother had spoken here on a Zoom call once, and someone asked which bhajan has he through him Swami wanted to, and he said Mohabbat Ki Kami. And so my question, and in your context, in your association with Swami, is like, if you were to like, it's just a personal question, to think that hey, one or two of your songs really connect to Swami, or you're known for that, what will those songs or bhajans, or take one and sing it actually?
Actually, I'd like to answer that with one particular experience, because for me, my so-called favorite bhajan, or the bhajan which the song which I'm known for, has been changing over time. Even like when I say my favorite bhajan, the bhajan that connects me most has been changing with time, and rightly so, right? We have, even in the Prashanti Mandir, they sing over 2,000 unique bhajans. Like, that's the variety that is there, and at any given time in your journey, what connects to you can keep changing, and it's absolutely fine. Like, there's this one devotee who was uh, not only was he not known to be a singer, he was known to be a terrible singer. So he was in front of Bhagwan, and Swami was showering a lot of motherly love on him. And at one point, he was so overwhelmed with Swami's love for him. He said, "Swami, I want to sing I want to sing a song in front of you. I want to sing a song for you now." And then Swami is looking like this. Okay. Do you really? Bangaru, you speak, no problem. Don't sing. Um, and then, so there were not many, it was inside Trai Brindavan, so there were not many devotees around. There's only like a couple of students who were attending, this devotee. And then he looked up straight into Swami. He's saying, "Swami, I know I don't have raga, I don't have tala, but I have bhava, Swami. You have to listen." And full, he's a slightly uh, bulky man, and with his full deep voice, he sings, "Sai Sundara Sundara." And he finishes this entire bhajan, and Swami is lost. And he's looking at Bhagwan singing this song, lost in raptures, not with any raga tala, only bhava, qualified by Bhagwan, not on mic, definitely. And then after that bhajan gets over, Swami is just silent for a while, looks at him, and then says, "Manchidi Bangaru, sing like you are, but don't sing on mic." So with that as the with that as the theme, um, I think my favorite or my this thing has been changing over time. I remember once in Mandir there was bhajan which one of the pairs used to sing, uh, Jaya Devi Bhavani Ma. I had heard that bhajan by the same pair multiple times in Mandir before, in front of Bhagawan. This was a point in my MSc in 2014, a lot of internal churn, and suddenly they started this bhajan. And in spite of having heard the same bhajan from the same Mandir pair multiple times, that day something happened in Mandir. I just lost myself. I was like having a conversation with Bhagwan through the bhajan. And again, it had nothing to do with, because if it was just bhajan, if it was just that musical piece, then it should have connected me long ago also. But now, situations in my life got me to a point where some words in that bhajan triggered me into a connection with Bhagwan. So that kept changing over time. I think recently, for example, now in the recent past, one of the very simplest bhajans that one could think of. I think I sang that on Thursday. Um, Janani Kripa Karo Ambe. It's a beautiful, beautiful bhajan. I've again heard it multiple times in the past, maybe in Mandir, in recordings. It has never like made any impact on me, but now suddenly it means something to me. So that has been changing over time.
Sairam Abhisek. I think you answered my yearning questions. Often I think over decorate, we institutionalize the the purpose of bhajan, lot of alankaras, and we carry forward as an institution, as a book, as a this, as that, and all that. And somewhere we lose, or when you make more of institutionalized, we have a tendency to miss the purpose. So when I think few years ago I was reading Anyatha Saranam Nasti by Kumaramma, Vijay Kumari. Swami lovingly calls her Kumaramma. Back in those days, 1945, when Swami used to go to their house, there was no bhajan at all. And Swami will reach there at 7 or 8, and then we'll do the kirtana, or Swami will only sing, no one else, because except one or two children in their house, no one else can sing. And the session will go through midnight. No timing for bhajan. Swami will start any time in the morning, will go through noon. But then Swami brought discipline, and then there was a purpose behind it. Now we have over caused that, made it an institutionalized. So while I think you answered me in the last question while answering to brother about, based on your layer of consciousness and at the state of mind, if you can drive that bhava, and I believe some bhajan you listen and then throughout the day, that bhajan is not going from your head because it radiated some energy, it stayed with you. I think that's the where the purpose of bhakti comes, because it doesn't matter how he sang and all. Um, and you, on the other example that you gave, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say Krishna, the moment the word Krishna comes in, he has lost. So it all depends on, the evolution of the surrounding atmosphere and all that. But what energy that you are radiating, whether through thala or baba or combination of everything, that's the most important item. I just wanted to make a comment, but I got the answer when you answered the last time. Sarah.
Thank you, Abhishek. Um, so I'm going to take just maybe one more minute. Um, Abhishek has sung so many bhajans, and the one that he's singing today, he's going to sing the Ganesh. The one that is he's singing today, if you probably type that bhajan in YouTube, that's Abhishek's version. So we got that opportunity that Abhishek is singing that bhajan today. The other one I got to know from him is this Krishna Krishna Radha Krishna. So I probably wanted to end this singing that bhajan, and we all follow. Maybe just one speed of that bhajan. Um, so we'll end that. If anyone else does not have any question, many people have something to ask you, but time. But maybe we'll end that with that bhajan, and we all follow quickly end this session after that. Something else that you sang, whatever that you sang, I mean something that whatever bhajan that team probably we wanted to hear and close this.
हर प्राणी में साई, हर प्राणी में बा, सब प्रेम करो, सब प्रेम करो, मेरा साई प्रसन्न हो, मेरा साई प्रसन्न होगा, मेरा साई प्रसन्न होगा। दीन दुखियों से प्रेम करो, मेरा साई प्रसन्न होगा। दीन दुखियों से प्रेम करो, मेरा साई प्रसन्न होगा। साई मेरा मैं तेरा, ये प्रेम की बहती धारा, साई मेरा मैं तेरा, ये प्रेम की बहती धारा, ये प्रेम की धारा ये प्रेम की बहती धारा मेरा साई प्रसन्न होगा। मेरा साई प्रसन्न होगा। दीन दुखियों से प्रेम करो मेरा साई प्रसन्न होगा।
Thank you. We'll end this with Om and Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.